Hi everyone, before we get into this video, I just want to share with you, thank you to everyone that reviewed Canada's local gardener magazine, and let you know that because you took the time to review the magazine and go through it with me, we have a code for you. JYE is the code number, and you can get a discount off a subscription to the magazine, which I'm very happy to offer to you. I will include a link in the description of this video where you can go and click on the link and have a look at more detail at the magazine for yourself. And then you can decide if you want to subscribe. All right, on with the video. Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about coneflowers. Coneflowers come in a variety of colors: pinks, reds, whites, creams, chartreuse, oranges, and yellows. These are a gardener's favorite. They are drought resistant, and some people even say they're deer resistant, which makes them the ideal perennial for the garden. Some varieties can get 1 to 2 inches high. The one I'm dealing with today is Cheyenne Spirit, which is my favorite, which is going to get 46 to 76 centimeters high and spacing 25 to 46 centimeters. With a hardiness of -34, it likes to be watered 2 to 3 times per week. Now, I have been buying plants on sale for a long time because I try to work with what I have, and quite honestly, if I can get plants at a cheaper price, I can grow more. So Cheyenne Spirit is one that's been on my hit list for a while. You've seen me plant it in other videos, and I've showed you how I prune it, but I haven't showed you in depth how I prune it and what I'm looking for. So this video is all about how to prune and care for your coneflower in your garden, especially if you get plants like this one on a budget. So Cheyenne Spirit, the reason I like it so much is the ultraviolet colors of shades of oranges and pinks. This is a flower that I think with this coloring that's perfect all season round, and it blends well with a border of pinks, purples, lavenders, whites. So I consider it a very versatile color spectrum for the garden. Now, the key thing with these to keep them blooming is pruning. Now, the newer varieties will just keep on blooming in a lot of cases, and if you don't mind the seed pods like this, then that's okay. You don't need to prune them back. But for me, I want to keep as many blooms and less seed pods on them. Now, you can take these are a perfect cut flower for the garden. Pollinators will love them, and their vase life is a good week. But how do we care for them if we don't like these shaggy flowers when they start fading? Well, the key here is pruning. Now, this is one I got on sale for $3, and it's a good example of a plant that needs some love. But there's certain things to look for when I prune these, and one of them is buds. And one thing about coneflowers is they will get buds further down in the plant, deep into the plant. So when you're pruning these, you want to look for those buds. And I'm going to see if I can zoom in to kind of show you. So right here, you can see there it is, a new leaf shoot coming. But sometimes there's flowers away down there. And this is how the flowers are going to look on the stem. So when you prune this one back, you don't want to remove this flower because you want to keep it blooming, even when they're sale plants. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to cut that stem right down to here to give the energy to that bud so that it grows up and you get another show of flowers. And the easiest way to do that is just to come in with your pruners and go right down here and cut it on an angle and remove that bloom. Now, if it's a sale plant, you're going to want to come in here and remove any debris. That's just a given. And if it's in your garden and you've had a dry spell, then you want to come through and clean out all the debris as well, because you want to keep it blooming and you want the energy to go to the healthy foliage. So you're just going to go through and clean that out. So let me show you how to deal with these from a pruning perspective. I had to cut that out because it was just bugging me. So for instance, this one here is done. So we're going to go down and we're going to look where the next node is on the stem. And you can see we have some leaves here. There's no other blooms in place, and we're going to remove that. So easy. And that's how we're going to go through the plant. So this one here, we have a long stem here. It's very spent. And I'm looking at the stem to see where the next blooms are. And that is going to be right here. So we're going to take that off. Now, coneflowers are so simple in the garden. You do not need to fertilize them. They do like a good dose of compost or manure once a year or once every other year to keep them at their best and to make sure they're getting the nutrients that they need, particularly in clay soil. Because clay soil, although it does contain some nutrients, it is harder for the plant to pull the nutrients out of it because of how compact clay soil is. So you want to make sure that you feed them every year, every other year with some compost and or manure. Now here's another one right here. There's a brand new bud. You can see it there. So we're going to leave that one alone. We're going after the spent blooms. So when it comes to pruning, if you don't have any buds on the stem, go down where the next new set of leaves is growing and cut it there. Also remove any bent or broken stems from it. You want the energy to go into the new growth. So that's how we're kind of going to go through and do this. You can see right here, we have the new set of leaves. So we're just going to take that off. Here's another example of how they will look when they start fading or dying back. Is they will start fading to a yellow. So they start out with oranges and pinks and then they fade to a dull yellow. So we're going to go back down to the stem here and we're going to take it off right there. And the plant is already looking better and it will thank us for this kind of a rejuvenating prune of an existing plant, which I would do in the garden as well to keep it blooming. Because quite honestly, as gardeners, isn't that what it's all about? It's about the blooms and healthy foliage and plants. So here's one that has 2 stems there. We have one here and one here. We're going to take both of those off at the leaf. Same with this one. This one's bent and busted. So we're going to go back down here to where the leaves are and take it out. And then I see any dead foliage in this plant, and that's the same within the garden. Remove any dead foliage because it prevents it from disease and pests, which is something that you don't want in your garden if you can help it. Here's a really good example, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see this really, really well. Here is the new bud on the coneflower. This bud right here is spent and not looking good, but this one is a beautiful, healthy bloom that's coming, or bud that is coming. So we're going to cut right there and we're going to leave that so that it can have the energy and grow up. And yes, I am repeating myself, but quite honestly, this is how we prune these to get the most blooms. So go through your stems and see this one where the leaves are. Cut right there. Anything that is brown like this, anything that is brown like this, you want to go as far down as possible to get the stem out because the stem has died as well. Whether it's been poor watering, too much water, because they are drought resistant, so they don't need to be slopping wet all the time, remove it. It makes the plant look better and healthier. Now, something I've come to learn is why do I like orange so much? Or why do we, as gardeners, like certain colors more than others? Well, for me, if we look at my color coding, my complexion and my skin, and although that may not have bearing for others, I tend to be more fall color oriented. So I like to go for the bright colors of fall, the warm shades in the garden all year round. So if you ever think about your color coding and what you like, sometimes that will tell you as a gardener why you gravitate towards certain colored plants more than others. You can see here, I'm leaving this bloom on so you can see what it looks like and the shades of color in it. Can you imagine this plant profuse with flowers and all in that coloring and varying shades as it fades? It's a stunner. You can also remove any leaves that don't look healthy. Like this leaf here has some damage to it, and I'm just going to take it out right down at the stem. There, so that's looking good. It's ready to go in the garden, except for a couple little leaves that I missed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have coneflowers in your garden. What is your favorite color? I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to like and share. So please share this video out. Thanks everybody.